it's MK and I am here with the Shimmerz Paints design team layout for you guys. I am also combining this with my Kit Conspiracy kit for the week. This is the shimmers that I will be using. It's Inklings in Spotlight White, and it's this gorgeous, gorgeous white color. I also have Inklings in Burnished Buckle. This one was one of my firsts, and I absolutely love that purpley brown going on in there. It's gorgeous. And then Bling's Spiced Cider, and this one is a beautiful brown as well. It's like a gray brown. It's absolutely beautiful, and it has this almost iridescent shimmer to it that I just think adds to this collection. All right, I pulled out my favoriteest twine in the whole wide world. I get that from Stampin' Up! If you guys are curious, I think it's called Linen Thread. I also have the candy corn paper, which I'd already cut out the pieces that I need for my layout. It's all of these orangey colors. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did with the last layout that I did, however, just a little bit different orientation and whatnot, but I really enjoyed doing that process, so I wanted to do it again. I also pulled out some of the packaging, which I thought was really cool. I know, I'm crazy that I use all this packaging, but I went ahead and pulled those out, and that's what I'm going to use to map my photo. From the leaves and flowers and florally bits and potpourri mix, I've already pulled out all of the elements that I think I want to use for this layout. Seems like a lot, but when I start layering it up and whatnot, it's going to be pretty cool. From the potpourri mix, I've got a couple labels and the ticket. I've already scuffed up the edge of the ticket, and then the hearts, and I don't know if I'm going to use that arrow or not. This doesn't turn into an arrow layout, but I've already scuffed up and distressed all my edges. I also have all of these banner pieces also from the potpourri mix, and I'm going to try to work in that adorable little owl somewhere. And then I have this banner piece here that I'm going to be altering using the other banner pieces. I have this adorable picture of my son who is getting ready to go to one of his dances at the high school. And then my base page is going to be this ledger number 2 that I'm going to work with the shimmers for. Or, I'm going to put the shimmers on. So the first thing I want to do is try and figure out how to incorporate that background pieces, and then I'm going to build a banner using the existing banner and a couple other pieces. It's got a bunch of colors on it that don't go with my layout, so I want to change it up and make it work for my layout. One of the things that I find about pre-printed banners, as gorgeous as these ones are, and I really did embrace the banners and start using them, is the fact that they put colors on there that I can use if I had all those colors to play with or wanted to play with all those colors. But when I want to do a monochromatic layout like this one, the other colors don't blend really well. So I'm going to try to make this a monochromatic banner by adding the other banners to it. But first I need to paint my background. That way it has plenty of time to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put my photo mats together, and it's just one of those where I don't have a big enough piece, so I'm going to make all my pieces work in my favor. And I'm not really looking for full coverage. I'm just looking for the best placement to showcase these packagings, if that makes any sense. So even though it's just a little bit that you're going to be seeing, I still think that you get a lot out of them. Yeah. And then I do end up cutting that plaid one because I just could not, I honestly could not use it all. I love a good plaid print, you guys. I really, really do. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in 2 spots on my photo and then just make it look like it was bigger than what it was. And then go ahead and put it on that big one. And then, of course, I say and then a lot. I'm sorry. So the next thing I'm going to do is, besides cut my branding strip off, but I'm going to outline my photo so that way I don't paint where I don't need to. I find that when I skip this step, then I end up really not making it big enough, and then I put all my clusters down and everything, and all that hard work just went away. So I definitely find that this step is necessary because of that, because of the fact that I can get, I can get the media where I want it and not have to go back after I've laid out the entire layout, realizing that now I can't see any mixed media, and then try to go and fill in some spots and possibly ruin my layout. So anyways, one of the things that I forgot is what I was going to do with all of these little strips and things. So I'm going to go ahead and put them down and trace them as well. I thought I was going to have to trace my banner piece, but then I decided, nope, I don't think I'm going to. I absolutely love all of these little bits and pieces from the candy corn paper. It just gives me so much more patterns to play with and whatnot in such a smaller scale as well. So this has been one fun piece of paper to play with, just saying. I did have 3 other layouts actually planned. I just never got around to putting them together. So maybe one of these days, maybe for January, I will finish those layouts for you guys. But I do have 3 other layouts planned for this collection. All right, so the first one I'm going to be putting down is the Inklings in Burnished Buckle. I mean, just look at that purpley brown. It is just such a gorgeous brown, and the shimmer is very, I want to say light. So it has shimmer, but it doesn't have a lot of shimmer. It's one of the ones in the Shimmerz family that doesn't have a lot of sparkle and bling to it. So it is absolutely perfect for boys layouts. I absolutely love bringing it into any of my layouts, especially the grungy ones or the outdoor ones, all of that stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix up my spiced cider, and I got a little bit too much in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in the pot because I don't want a whole lot. Now these do look almost the exact same, but the spiced cider is more brown instead, and it's almost like a suede color. It softens it, and it also gives me that gorgeous sparkle that really does match this collection. It's got that greeny blue sparkle that matches this collection. Now I'm going in, the packaging isn't getting exactly where I want it, so I'm going in with my round brush and just tapping in places and making sure that I get full coverage. I want to get that shadowing effect as well as that that splattered effect that I get from the packaging. So the packaging just helps me truly put it down, put the ink down on the paper, but then I can move it around and get it more precise with using my paintbrush. So, and then I'm adding a little bit of water just to try and clean off what was on my brush before I put it into my my Spotlight White. And this is going to soften a few of the areas, cream it up a little bit, I guess is the best way to say it. I'm not really sure. But it fades out the harsh lines and allows me to spread the ink a little bit farther beyond where I wanted it, but I didn't really want it, if that makes any sense. And the Spotlight White is just perfect for it. All right, so I'm going to go back in again with just a wet brush and try and make sure that I have, the shadowing around all of my bits and pieces exactly where I want them. I just love how dirty the layout looks, you guys. I can't think of anything else, but I am going to bring in this pumpkin pie splattering and go ahead and just splatter it here and there, and then I'm going to take the tip of my nozzle or the tube from my nozzle and go ahead and paint in certain spots around the shadowing. Make sure that, I purposely meant to add this orange into my mixed media. So I'm just going to go ahead and very lightly touch into some corners, blend it in, or not blend it, but mix it in with some of the brown. But I don't want a whole lot. I just want it to be very pastel-y, very shadowy, very light. So, and I do like this effect. I love painting with my tube because it's just the right size for that fine line. It really is. And it only puts out so much ink before it stops putting out ink. So it's not like too wet of a brush or something like that. So, and some of this you won't see because I do end up adding a bunch of elements to the background, but it still looks great the way that it turns out. So I'm happy with adding all of this to it. Now, for some reason, and I don't know if it's because this is one of my very first sprays, my bottle is grainy. I don't know if that's the sparkle, because I think it's coloring, so that shouldn't have any sparkle to it. But my bottle does have some grain to it, and it doesn't bother me because that's how I scrap, if that makes any sense. So I'm okay with it because I like the grunge. I like that look. But yes, I will definitely find out if it's supposed to look like that in case your guys's look like that. So I'm not really sure. And it could also be because when I order mine during the cold season, it gets put in a mailbox that's outside that I have to go and check the mail on. Not outside, like right down my sidewalk, because we don't have sidewalks where I live. It's actually in like a kind of like an outdoor P.O. box type of deal. And so we have to go to this said P.O. box and go and get our mail. And by the time I go get it, my inks are actually frozen, which is kind of cool. Yes, they do explode sometimes in the post box, but I am okay with it. It's mostly because I don't get to the post box in time by the time that I get the notification. All right, so very quickly, I'm going to go ahead and alter this banner, and I'm going to place all my bits and pieces in a manner that it covers up the words because they're very autumny words. And even though this looks like an autumn photo, it's actually, I don't think it is. I think it's a May photo. I think it was taken in May, and he's going to a dance. He's not posing. Well, he looks like he's posing for a man's magazine, but I promise that's not what he's doing. He's just getting ready to go to a dance, and he just looked dashing, in all honesty. And so we wanted to take a couple pictures and thought we would do it in our gazebo lighthouse. So yes, I just wanted to do that. I'm a little OCD, so my thread came off its roll, so I had to put it back before I could continue on, or I just could not continue on. I apologize. But I'm changing the black line because I feel like it is very harsh. I'm changing it into this twine, but I don't mind if the black shows. So like when I start putting on the bow, and it's just a pretty simple bow, but I do want it to cover up the loops, but I don't mind if it doesn't cover up the tails. So I'm going to glue the loops down, but my tails are going to be free flowing, because then it looks like I just have a fuller bow. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue those parts down and then not even worry about where my tails go. Nope, not one bit. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And it's just dressing up the banner a little bit, giving it a little bit of life, altering it, because if the words don't work for you either, it's a way to show you guys how the words do work and all that good stuff. So just wanted to share this with you guys in case you guys are looking at these banners as well and, don't see how they work for you. So I just love the little critters. I really, really do. They are adorable. The little chipmunks are so sweet. So here is my finished banner. I did pop up the additional ones on foam, so it gave it a little bit more of a 3D look, and it's such a full banner. I mean, oh my gosh, it is just so cool. So I'm going to add that to where it links my two paper clusters together, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start tucking and weaving in all of these little elements. One of the things I don't want to do is cover up these papers, especially the 3 white collaged papers, because I mean, they add so much interest into the layout because they do look like they're moving, basically, because of the different elements that are on them. All right. I'm tucking in some of these leaves and things into my paper clusters as well. I'm just going ahead and ripping apart my stems just because some of them are a little on the too big for me side. So deciding where I want my flowers to go, making sure that each little cluster of papers gets something, whether it's a little something or a big something. I did have this large piece of clustered florals that I wanted to make sure made it into the layout, and I also wanted to add to it. So I added that to the layout, and then I'm just going to go ahead and bring in other elements. I don't bring in everything that I picked out, but I do bring in a lot. And I also glue everything offline because it's just tedious. I mean, you guys watched this part. It's me putting the layout back together is basically watching it twice. In all honesty, I don't move. What I end up doing is I just put my hand down over it and glue down the ends of it. And I don't even worry about gluing the middle piece at all. So lots and lots of rearranging. As you can tell, that one huge ink splatter that I did, the painting that I did over on the left side of my photo cluster, disappeared altogether. But I can still see a lot of my painting around all of the other elements, around all of the other clustered papers and all that stuff. All right, so I have glued everything down. Everything is where it belongs, except for my little fox here, because I think it just goes really well with the photo. I do have other photos from this quote-unquote photo shoot. So I was going to do another layout. I just don't have any more of these papers to do another layout with. I'm going to add a little butterfly, but because my other butterfly is not going in the right direction, I really wanted it to go in the opposite direction, but it didn't, so it's not going to make it on the layout. The arrow is not either, so I'm just going to add these 2 last little hearts. I almost called them flowers, but I'm going to add these 2 last little hearts to my layout, and that is pretty much it for you guys. I did use foam dots behind my banner, so it's got foam on top of it, and then it's got foam behind it as well. So it is quite dimensional. The whole layout is quite dimensional. And then I'm going to finish it off with a little bit more of the orange splatter. I'm going to try to not splatter onto my elements, but I'm okay if I splatter onto my photo mats or my, what I'm using as a photo mat. But like I said, one of the things I do love about this is it's almost like a controlled splatter. I absolutely love it. All right, so that is my layout. I love all the mixed media that I've got going on this layout. I think it really adds to all of the elements that I used, in all honesty. You can see a little bit of that pumpkin pie ink. I just love that, you guys. Absolutely love it. I love these colors of browns. They're not so harsh of a brown. They're like a gray brown that just really add. Here's a photo where you can see some of the sparkle and shine. Oh my gosh, it is just so pretty. Absolutely so pretty, if I don't say so myself. One of the other things that I probably could have added to this layout is a little bit of Wink Estella on some of the flowers, but because this is a layout of my son, I didn't want to do that. I mean, I'm already using flowers, which most of them are wild flowers, so I'm okay with them not being roses and whatnot. All right, you guys, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much. Be sure to go and check out the Shimmerz Paints website to go see if there's any colors in there that catch your eye and become your favorite. If you place an order and put my name down in the comments during checkout, you will get a little freebie. just by, recognizing one of the design team members. So thank you so much if you do. Also, too, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel over here on YouTube. It's Galaxy Girl Creations. She is playing along with me. In fact, she's been playing along all week, and I kind of slacked. I apologize. But she has come out with some great layouts. I might scrap lift a couple of hers based off of the fact that I didn't make mine yet. Thanks, Janet. Also, there's a link down below for our Facebook group. Don't forget to check out those. Those ladies are making some amazing layouts, you guys. I absolutely love it. And we have a few people here on YouTube that are playing along as well. So don't forget to go check out those ladies. I will tag them because they've been playing along and I have not tagged them at all. I apologize, you guys. So anyways, I will make sure that their channel links get down below as well, so you guys can go and check them out. All right, thank you again, and I will check y'all later. Bye.